Hello there and welcome to my first gear review video. We're going to get quickly into it because you want to know what this thing does. I'm reviewing a pedal by Deadweald Audio. It's called the Duality. So if you have a little look at that, let the camera focus on it. It's a very cool looking pedal. It's a prototype right now and it isn't out. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to need a guitar. So we want to know how this thing sounds. So here's the amp on its own. It sounds pretty good on its own, right? It's the Driftwood amplifier. So the pedal is called the Duality because it has two channels. It has one old school channel and one more modern channel. So let's listen to both of them. We'll listen to the older school channel first. It'll be very similar to a Tubescreamer. Sounds pretty damn good, okay? So let's have a look at the modern channel now. These riffs are courtesy of Monuments. Well, now you know what it sounds like, let's go into a little bit of a more in-depth dive. Alright guys, so I am obligated to tell you that this pedal is a prototype, and that means it is hand-painted and hand-soldered. So the finish on this particular pedal, when you get the real ones, when they go into manufacture, will be of a lot higher quality. It'll be perfectly machined, perfect construction all around. So yeah, you've got that to look forward to. So the housing itself is of a pretty high quality in general. I actually really like the way it looks. I think that it's quite well finished considering it's a prototype. The soldering is obviously hand soldered because again, it's a prototype. Surface mount on the components, which a lot of people consider to be of low quality, but I can assure you it's actually not. It's because those components are usually cheap when they're done in surface mount, whereas these components that are used in this particular build are of exceptionally high quality. They are low distortion, high quality components, and they're not microphonic. So what that means is that when you are passing signals through them, they're not going to be picking up other signals from a pedal chain in the room when the signal passes through the pedal. Good stuff. So guys, I'm going to take you through my signal chain. It's really simple. So the first thing that you would have saw was me playing through this 7-string Ibanez guitar. This is a RGAIX7U. Ibanez have the greatest names for their guitars, right? These are bare knuckle aftermath pickups. Really nice pickups, quite tight sounding, very modern sounding in general, so they're going to go well with the modern setting on the guitar pedal. And then we're going to be looking at another guitar as well, because you guys aren't going to only want to hear this in terms of an extended range guitar like a 7-string, you're also going to want to hear it on a normal guitar, which in my opinion sounds amazing on a normal guitar as well. So the other guitar that you'll be hearing throughout this video is my PRS-CU22, which is just a wonderful guitar. It's bought for me by my wonderful fiancée as an engagement present, and it is loaded with Dragon 2 pickups, just the standard Dragon 2s that come in it. And personally, I actually like these more than any sort of modern pickup that I've played so far. These have a lot of settings on them, but they're just really nice sounding pickups. So now you know what guitars I'm playing through and what pickups I'm playing through. So the very next point in the chain is just a pedal block down here. After the pedal block, we're moving into the Driftwood amplifier. For the pedals will be a Tubescreamer, then the Duality, then the final Tubescreamer, which is within the Driftwood amplifier's circuitry. We've set all of these pedals initially to the same so that they all sound the same. And then obviously later on we'll try and chase a tone. Then after the Driftwood, we're going to be moving from the direct output of the Driftwood, as the Driftwood has its own direct out feature, you can just switch the power amp off, straight into my audio interface, and then going straight into Cubase. And now inside Cubase, we have a variety of things going on. We have an IR, which is the Orange 112 IR, and it's mic'd up with a Sennheiser E906 microphone through a Neve preamp. And then I've done a little bit of post EQ. It's nothing special, it's literally just a tiny little cut at 200 Hertz to just get some of the flub out of the 7-string. and a tiny little cut, I think just before 4K, to just take out some of the harshness. And that's more of an amplifier IR type thing. The amp sounds great, but each IR will need to be sort of molded at the end to make up for the kinds of guitars and pedals and all the other variables that you're putting through it. All right, so now having been through the signal chain, let's get into a comparison. So at this point in the video, we are going to be comparing the same settings for a TS Mini Tubescreamer circuit that's within the Driftwood amplifier, and we're going to be looking at the actual duality pedal itself. Unfortunately, I don't have a Horizon Devices precision drive to compare the blue modern channel of the duality to that particular pedal, as I feel like that's kind of what it's trying to emulate, trying to find that space within that market for modern sort of genty metalcore guitarists. So you guys have already heard the 7-string, so you don't need to hear any more of that. So let's introduce you to the PRS. Kind of hard to play without any kind of drive up front, but it sounds really good on its own, right? So the first pedal that we're going to be trying is the Tubescreamer Mini. Standard settings, we're going to have the tone at around 6 o'clock, we're going to have the gain at 0, and we're going to have the level at 10. So let's play the same riff again. Sounds amazing, right? This is mostly the Driftwood just sounding incredible. I love the Driftwood amplifier. But we're going to be switching across now. So the next one we're going to try is we're going to try the Driftwood's Tubescreamer channel with exactly the same settings, all right? Sounds pretty damn good as well. All right, so now, without further ado, we're going to see what the Duality's Tubescreamer pedal side sounds like against those first two pedals. So yeah, thanks again. Another John Brown riff, that one, pretty sexy. All right, so now we've heard the Tubescreamer side of the Duality. Now we're going to be listening to the more modern side. Now, I think that this is quite a unique voicing, but I can clearly tell that it's designed for modern guitar players. It's quite like a chunky metallic top end. So let's have a listen to that in conjunction directly after all these Tubescreamer comparisons. I really like this channel. I think it's definitely like the thing that makes the pedal unique, and it's got like this weird voicing on the top end that just makes all of the notes ring out exactly how you would expect it to in a really modern metal genre. So you've got this like all of these top notes are so clear. Like if you look at the frequency analyzer, there's a nice like peak just below sort of 1 to 2K and another one's 3 to 4. And I think that just really makes this pedal pop in a way that I've never really experienced before. So I'm a massive fan of this. It's really, really nice, you know? All right, so now we've had a direct comparison with the other Tubescreamers, and then we've heard the modern channel in comparison to all of the other pedals that I have available to me. We're going to be looking at sort of some dial tweaking. So what you've been hearing so far is a recommended sort of setting from the manufacturer, who basically said that this is sort of the best starting spot for getting it to sound the way you want it to. And I have to agree, it sounds pretty damn good at this particular point in time. All right, welcome back, guys. So in conclusion, I just want to give my personal thoughts on this particular pedal. It's a seriously good pedal. When I was being told that I was being sent a prototype pedal, I thought that the voicings and everything would be more of a work in progress. But this thing feels finished to me. Like, I would buy this pedal. If I wasn't getting one anyway, I would buy one. It replaces my Tubescreamer on my pedal board, and I think that's the main thing about it. I have a TS Mini, it cost me like 50 quid. I could sell that on for 50 quid to somebody who just wants a TS Mini and doesn't care about the modern channel. Then I would use the money that I got from the TS Mini to just buy one of these pedals. It's two things in one. It does the job of the TS Mini so well that I can't tell the difference. In fact, the bigger thing that it does is it actually has a little bit more boost on the TS Mini, which just suits my purposes more. So if you're a modern guitarist and you want that big, thick Tubescreamer sound, but you also want something a bit more like a precision drive, then this is the pedal for you. It's like the best of both worlds. It's a Tubescreamer, it's a precision drive, it's all in one, and it kind of has its own flavor too. It's unique. It's not exactly like either one of these pedals. It's got little things about it that just make it really fit for purpose. I couldn't recommend this pedal enough to you. All right, guys, so thanks for taking the time out to watch the video. I really appreciate your time. If you want to see more gear reviews like this, please leave your comments below. Let me know what I can improve, and let me know what you wanted to see that you didn't get to see. I'm pretty sure I did a pretty thorough job of this, but if there's anything that I could have done better, please let me know. I would love to bring you more content like this in the future. I love making it, and I just really enjoy testing out the new gear. So yeah, just give me a shout in the comments, let me know what you think. Potentially have a bit of a discussion about, where you feel you could use the pedal. That would be really cool as well. I hope you really enjoyed the video, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.